Hey everybody, welcome to my first 3ds Max tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at how to model, or one way to model a cave. It's something I've been looking around a lot for and really haven't found anything solid. Um, so I thought I'd make one of my own and see if people can find it useful. I'll try to make this as easy as possible to follow, try and be as simple as I can so that everyone can understand it. But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a new slate here, a brand new program. Uh, we're going to select the cylinder. This is the object we're going to be using to make our cave. It's just a basic cylinder. So what I like to do is I like to work in full screen. You can get to this by hitting Alt W, and whichever screen you're selected on, it'll bring up that viewport. So we're going to go into perspective. Then we're going to make a cylinder. It doesn't really matter what shape and size, just give it a little bit of depth. We're going to adjust that here in a minute. Right, we're going to go ahead and rotate it to 90 degrees so that it's standing up like this. Okay, so this is what we have. Go ahead and hit Alt 4 to bring up your wireframe, and then we're going to convert this to an editable poly. Select your polygon, click on both sides, so control and then click on both sides, both caps, excuse me, and hit delete. So now we can see through. Alright, next thing we're going to do is get a good angle like that. We're going to grab our edge tool, click on any edge. It can be on either side, whichever side you want to go, and hit loop so that we can loop around. Now we have the entire border selected. Now with our move option selected, either hit W or click this button right up here. Hold down shift and then drag it on the x-axis and it'll extrude the edge. Alright, so we're going to do that a couple times. Start with maybe like a tunnel that leads into the caves. And we'll start adding a little rotation to it. You can either click up here or hit the hotkey E to rotate. So we'll rotate a little bit, move it around, and we'll extrude another edge and rotate a little more. Alright, so now we've got a little bit of a bend going on. We'll do that a couple more times. Make sure you're holding down shift whenever you drag, or else you're just going to drag it around and it's not going to extrude it. It's going to be screwed up. So shift, drag, turn a little more. Alright, here's where we'll start expanding into our first room. And what I like to do is I'll make another extrusion, not very big, however big you want, and then you hit R for size and scale, or you can click up here on the scale modifier or scale button, and then we're going to drag this out a little bit. Alright, and so it's going to start making a wider opening for the cave. One thing we might look at is right here. It's kind of hard to see, but we have this flat cave and then it just jumps down. So what you might do is grab your move tool and level this off a little bit so it's kind of still flat. And now we have more of a slope going up. Um, and so it pretty much follows that routine right there. So we'll grab another one. We'll size it up a little more, drag it up a little bit. Kind of have a slope going down, not too steep though. We want people to be able to, if we put this in a game, for example, we'd want someone to be able to walk on it. Do it again. And now, once you're happy with the height of the cave, but you still want the room to be wider, one thing you can do is on your scale, you can just select right in here to where you're highlighting the X and Y axis. And so what that's going to do is it's just going to stretch the sides like this. In fact, really, I guess since you're working on a line, you could just use the X. It's just habit for me to select both Y and X. But now we made it wider without making it taller, and we can go back and scale it some more however we like. And so we're going to do this a few more times. I'll run through this real quick, just kind of scale some stuff. You can even start adding some rotation in it if you want to kind of make the room look a little funky. And for the sake of this, we'll say that we've hit the middle of the room. So we're going to go ahead and start closing it off, and you pretty much just work in reverse. So instead of going out, you're going to go back in. And we'll start with, I don't want to lower the room yet, I want it to just get more narrow from side to side. So we'll start on the X and bring that in. We'll do a little more rotation. And this is where, if you're doing rotation, you have to be careful because this right here starts to get flat. So if you were using this in a game world, you'd have a wall there. So what you want to do is grab it and move it out like that. Alright, so now you have a smooth edge on both sides. So we'll do this again. Scale it down again. Alright, and at this point, I think I'd like to go ahead and start making the cave start getting shorter. So we'll do a full scale down like that. Move this over a little more. It's starting to kind of curve back in, which is cool. Alright. And the end result is this is going to turn into another tunnel, which can branch off into other places. So we'll do another extrusion, make it a little bit smaller again. All right. And now one thing I've neglected is it's actually going up. So if we wanted this to be flat, the easiest way to do this would be to grab your edge tool like we're on, click on any edge that needs to be lowered, and hit loop, just like we did in the beginning. Lower it down. Next edge, loop, lower it down. Final edge, loop, and lower it down. So it's an easy fix if you miss something like that. It's nothing too bad. So we'll make a real quick cave or tunnel, and then I'll show you how to link these together. So we're going to go ahead and grab this and duplicate it. Let's say that you've made multiple rooms and you haven't made them on off the same unit. So we're going to duplicate this, shift and drag, and it'll automatically duplicate it. We'll make a copy of it. So we have two rooms, but we need to link them together. One cool tool that I found is it's a Boolean method. So let's say we want to actually let's move this over here. We want to connect these two, make another tunnel that branches off the main tunnel. All we need to do is kind of shove that tunnel right into the other cave, like so. All right, and then we're going to go over here to our geometry and go down to the compound objects, and we're going to hit Pro Boolean. All right, and then up here, and it might be down here for you, but under the parameters, under the operation box, hit Union. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and start picking. And since we're already selected on this, we don't have to pick anything. If we pick the next object like that, it selects it and makes it one giant mesh, and it's connected it. So if we go into wireframe mode by hitting F3, you'll see that right here, actually let's do it like this. You can see right here that it's actually made a tunnel in the new, in the older cave, and so now you have a tunnel that branches off and goes into the new area. So it's a really nice tool to have, and I'll go over that with you one more time to make sure you got it. You select your object, go to Compound Objects, Pro Boolean, under the Parameters and Operations, hit Union, then start picking and pick your new object. And it creates a union and it creates a tunnel. So it's really easy to do that. So, and that's pretty much it. You can kind of play with that. You can add noise modifiers to add some bumpiness to it. If you need to, you can smooth it up. I generally leave stuff lower poly like this because for game making, sometimes high poly is not the best way to go. You can usually achieve a good look with good UV unwrapping and texturing and such. But that's how I make caves. It's worked for me very well so far. You may find your own way to do it, but this is definitely not a bad way to start. So I hope that everyone found this useful, and stay tuned for more tutorials coming up in the future. Thanks, guys.